Woo doggy. Oops. This happens sometimes. Let's get this going though. So we need to draw a winner for the January giveaway of the Zann Consortium Mega Pack. So let's get some stuff up here. First off, we need the entries. Whoop. Copy that link. Go to that link. Alrighty. Can you guys read that? I don't know. From my end, that looks pretty hard to read. But who knows? What we can do, let's see if this is better. That does not make it better. Okay. So, we got the entries. We've got the link. Let's go to... comment picker, and we want YouTube comment picker. Let's put that in there. And we should start using, that's a premium feature though. All right, so we're gonna say get YouTube comments. It's got 56 comments. Okay, so this is ready to go. So, what we normally do is read out all of the, excuse me, all of the entries and then, talk about it. But let's review real quick on the screen. You cannot see my cursor. Let's see if I can go show additional settings. Capture cursor. Okay, so supposedly you're supposed to be able to see my cursor, but you can't. Which is very sad. Okay, so in the upper left-hand corner, we have the Aggressor Star Destroyer from Star Wars Forces of Corruption. This model was modeled by the Slightly Used Spaceship Yards. Going from left to right, you see the Keldabi Battleship, which is a medium-based ship that is also modeled by the Slightly Used Spaceship Yards. There are two Vengeance frigates. What you'll be getting is the Vengeance frigate that has the modified little wing bottoms with the version 2 engine, which is the smaller engine insert. The Acclamator, this Acclamator is the Imperial Refit Acclamator from the Slightly Used Spaceship Yards. And then a Tartan Patrol Cruiser, modeled by O'Neill Creations. A Broadside Missile Cruiser by Utar Games. Going down to the next section in the middle, we got the little, what is that? The Star Galleon, also modeled by Utar Creations. Going down to the next set, starting from left to right, you have two Interceptor 4 frigates modeled by O'Neill Creations, and then a Marauder class cruiser from Utar Games, as well as two IPV-1s from Utar Games, and two Zann Consortium Crusader Corvettes. And then you get fighters. You get a wing of Star Vipers. You get 2 wings of Pirate Snub Cruisers, 3 stands of Skip Ray Blast Boats, And then I can't say these fighters on the right hand, lower right hand corner. I can't say that it's like the Ricksta fighters. 2 stands of those. So that is what the entries were. Let's look at the entries. So, starting with Rao Moya, $2.99. My favorite sci-fi show is definitely Futurama. I love witty humor. Man, Futurama, for being such a fun little comedy show, really punches you in the guts with their wonderful, wonderful video or wonderful episodes like Fry's Dog and Philip J. Fry and all that stuff. But that's an excellent sci-fi show. Reminder: the entry in order to enter to win, you were supposed to tell us your favorite science fiction TV show. Matt 5901 said, grew up and still love Outlaw Star. Never felt it got enough love. It had some awesome ship combat with a great blend of traditional sci-fi tech and mysticism with spells and magic tech. Love the sculpts and excited to see this channel grow. Hey Marco, don't listen to Alex. He hasn't won yet. We have not claimed a thing. Alex is just being presumptuous and saying that he won. Judge Wraith 1 says Farscape is a solid choice, but my money for the best sci-fi show in recent memory is a big competitor for the top slot period is The Expanse. I love The Expanse. I think the books are way better than the movies, or excuse me, than the show. But I can tell you that I cannot picture anybody in those characters' spots than the cast that they have cast for that. Whether it's Wes Burton with, or excuse me, Wes Chatham with Amos, or anybody. I think everybody that they cast in there was pretty good. It's interesting thinking about how it's hard to do the. Did I say Wraith? I did say Wraith. Yeah, it's hard to adapt a written work to a visual medium, and I think they did a pretty good job at it. User DV7OP2SV1X said the Battlestar Galactica reboot is the series I go back to the most. It's such a great example of science fiction or sci-fi being a vehicle for understanding and exploring contemporary society. Christopher Radis says, my favorite one was Space Above and Beyond. Damn Chigs! Sad that it would never made more seasons. Thank you all for the opportunity that you're to win with this giveaway. You know, I love Space Above and Beyond. I have a full set of ships that I found models for way back in the day that kind of expand the Chig fleet and the United States Navy, or whatever, the UNSC. I think that's what they're called, right? In Space Above and Beyond, it's UNSC. In any case, I love Space Above and Beyond. I just wish that there was more of it. I wish that Fox wasn't Fox, and maybe we would have gotten a little bit more of it. Futurama is hands down my favorite non-Star Wars sci-fi show, says Devian Diaz 6001. For a more serious setting, can't go wrong with The Expanse. Kess Schuler 6011 says Battlestar Galactica reboot is such a good show. It feels dirty to choose something that isn't Star Wars, but BSG is so well done. It's lived rent-free in my head for years. I love the ships in the Battlestar Galactica show. It's a little dark for me, but I'm a little soft in that regard. St. Paul Cathedral 8013 says, I love the space battleship Yamato series from both the 1970s and the remake in 2012. The remake really brings out the characters and the best of the space battles. Love the models. Been a fan for a few years now. Got 3 Keldabi class battleships today. Awesome. I remember Space Above and Beyond. I watched it pretty recently. I have a copy of it in my Plex server. Okay, so Tom Reese 130 says Star Trek, Star Wars, and Halo were all core sci-fi franchises in my childhood, but recently I was introduced to The Expanse, and man, that show just ruins everything else by comparison. It's just flawless from the writing, world building, to the tension and real science and characters. It's just amazing. I love The Expanse universe. I think they did an excellent job adapting it. I have a full set of MCRN ships in Star Wars Armada scale. Someday I should probably do better at showing those off, but they're fantastic. By the way, if you own a 3D printer and you want to print some MCRN ships, there is a creator who I've mentioned before in the channel for other things, named Martin Teichel on Printables, who has excellent models of all of the MCRN ships. All right. User RG4KU4VI5P. My favorite would series have to be Star Wars, Star Trek. They're still the ones they're the ones I still enjoy watching. Those little fighters look great. Heck, the entire fleet looks amazing. Thank you, user. Mantanza. I love Farscape, Firefly, but my favorite is The Expanse so far. I just love the semi-realistic physics and deep characters. I think that's probably the winner if you were to tally up all the responses. It's most people's favorite is now The Expanse. Stephen Bennett in chat says, to me, The Expanse is all about the details, like when the Rossi turns on its drive whenever it fires its railgun to compensate for the change in momentum. It is. You know, if you think about what's science fiction, what's actual science fiction in The Expanse, you get two things. The hyper efficient Epstein drive and the recycler. And everything else is pretty grounded. I think that's pretty awesome. Let's see here. Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to get some work stuff to transmit, and I can't seem to get it to transmit. Okay, where are we? The Rudy Rutger says, deciding upon a favorite series is immensely difficult. There have been so many over the years that embody the fun, wonder, and mystery of the genre. One such series that I will say I can watch whenever is Stargate, with a relatable setting, humor, exploration, the unknown focus, and the stellar cast to be perfect fit for the family and a discerning sci-fi fan. I love Stargate, and the fact that people, I don't know how many people really ponder on the amount of, like, if you were to put science fiction universes together in like a head-to-head, Stargate has the most advanced technology out of most things. They could travel to galaxies in mere weeks. They have amazing shield technology and beam weapon technology, and it's very, very cool. And Odell says, as a relatively new spaceship sci-fi show fan, my favorite is The Expanse. My favorite series of all time is Farscape. And I say to that, Frell yeah! Darth, man, this just makes me, I can't read. Darth Alias 2059 says, my love for Firefly will never cease. Farscape is fantastic. I love Babylon 5 back in the day, but my absolute favorite is The Expanse. Now, if somebody is just brave enough to tackle a stranger in a strange land. You know, I read Stranger in a Strange Land when I was a kid, and I watched the, I think, what show, is it Joe Blow did a video about, like, what it is. I don't know if Stranger in a Strange Land would be all that compelling of a science fiction show. Who knows? You know, I'm not responsible for making any of that stuff happen. So maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Callium Carre says The Expanse, decent production value, very relatable storylines, high realism, and a lack of major sci-fi tropes makes this show my #1 spot. You know, it's funny that you mentioned the tropes because I remember when I was reading the fourth book for the first time. I was like, oh, we're getting to the Wild West episode. Okay, okay. I love The Expanse. You know, Niplith says my favorite sci-fi show in recent memory is The Expanse. I really wish there was more of it. You know, they left it off with them not doing the final 3 books, so there may be adaptation of that in the future. That would be really cool. I would love to see the the Laconian ships in action. I think it would be very, very cool. There are a lot of great series out there, says Sarah Beth 8452. I was amazed by one called Dark Matter a few years ago. Time to go back for another watch. I believe is Dark Matter written by Malozzi, the guy who did one of the guys who did Stargate. Let's see here. Dark Matter. It was done by it was done by Paul Muley and Joseph Malozzi. So this is a show that the guys who did Stargate did after they did Stargate. It's very cool. All right, Tyrannu says my favorite series is The Expanse. It just seems so near to our timeline. Maybe 100, 200 years in the future. It is 200 years in the future, yes. Right? Or is it the 2500s? I can't remember. Does it take place at the same time as Babylon 5, or does it take place at the same time as Halo? I think it's the same as Babylon 5. When does The Expanse take place? 2350. All right. Darrow Kerbow says my all-time favorite sci-fi is Star Wars, but I have really been digging Gundam UC timeline for the last few years for sheer fun. David Gazaniga says Battlestar Galactica has to be my favorite show. My dad introduced me to it, and it was well worth. Man, I remember as a kid staying home and watching the Sci-Fi Channel reruns of Battlestar Galactica 1980, and I even watching that, I still love it. I still love Battlestar Galactica. I'm a huge nerd. I'm a huge spaceship nerd, though, and really anything that's got cool spaceships in it, I'm going to be all about that. Noah Blount says I grew up on Battlestar Galactica reboot, so it'll always be that for me. But the recent Disney show Andor actually really stuck with me and is a top contender too. I loved Andor. Andor is the best thing that Disney has done with Star Wars. Hands down. No apologies. No buts. In my opinion, Andor is the best thing that they've done with Star Wars. All right. Frizzank said, new Lost in Space. Love plot, action, and character development. I have not seen the new Lost in Space yet, but I should probably check that out. Let's catch up on chat. Let's see here. Stephen Bennett said, I feel like the recyclers are feasible. Goddamn, I do love Stargate, though. Rudy Rutger says, indeed. Iron Muffin Productions said Stargate movie was amazing. Guys, if you watch YouTube and you're into people doing, like, retrospectives on shows, there's a guy named Rowan J. Coleman who's done retrospectives on a whole bunch of shows, and he just did the Stargate. He just started his Stargate retrospective, and man, I love everything about that guy's channel. He does a really good job. Shadowcat said the final cut of Children of the Gods is cool. Alex Pearson says Laconia Uber Allies. Iron Muffin Productions said I would love to see the Gundam ships and space stations in Star Wars Armada. You know, there are Gundam models out there that I feel like are a decent size, like actual plastic model kits. But I wonder if there's a creator out there who'd be willing to tackle, or maybe there already is 3D models of Gundam ships out there. I know you can get things like game assets, but I don't know if that really... Game assets generally tend to be really low poly, and maybe that's okay for Gundam. Although I will tell you this is a plug for an upcoming fleet that we're going to be featuring on our channel This isn't quite Gundam, but I really like the design from Googleplex on his latest fleet, the Neo Zulu. The look of these ships are utterly fantastic. So this is the top profile. Here is the side profile. The way that the ships have the stacked superstructure with the turrets on them is just amazing. Yeah. Not quite Gundam, and the fighters are, I think, a little lacking, but what are you going to do? His scale is at, like, full thrust scale, so these are really small ships to begin with. We actually just printed out a plate where we have scaled them up about 150% for Star Wars Armada tabletop play, and they're really awesome. All right, enough plugging that. Where'd we leave off? Marco Antonio Salazar Matamor says, well, Farscape has some pretty amazing special effects, and I loved it. One personal favorite is Space 1999. It's a cheese fest from beginning to end, and it's all better for it. Awesome miniature work. Love the novels are cool. Okay, Guillaume Barnaby said, this is an amazing giveaway. Count me in. I would go with The Mandalorian as my favorite recent TV series. Cheers. All right. Forcell says, I've been on a hunt for Star Vipers and Rixids for a while now. This is where the fun begins. While I've been a longtime fan of the animated Star Wars show, both the 2003 and 2008 versions, my favorite science fiction show has got to be Doctor Who. It's zany, has a personality that I've never seen in any other show. I have seen shows that have kind of tried to capitalize on the same kind of zaniness, and it does not fare well. Of course, I haven't seen Doctor Who past when everyone was trying to trap the Doctor in that time vault or whatever it is. I stopped watching for some reason. I haven't ever gotten back into it. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so Coda Sen says Firefly without a doubt is my number one. Space Above and Beyond was far better than it had any right to be. Yeah, so Space Above and Beyond, the way that they tried to capture the World War I or World War II kind of morbidity of being a pilot or being someone in war is awesome. It's really good. And I love it all. I love it all. It's a little wonky with the racism with nipple necks and but it has very much, it almost has a Band of Brothers vibe to it, and it's fantastic. It's like Band of Brothers meets maybe a little bit of the Pacific meets a little bit of a classic like World War II or World War I pilot feel to it. It's awesome. I'll never stop singing that. But Firefly and Space Above and Beyond are both victims of Fox and Fox producers not being good at their jobs. All right. Mr. Another Lonely Day says, fingers crossed also Outlaw Star. I don't know anything about Outlaw Star. I wonder, can we watch this? Apparently we can watch on Hulu, or if we have Funimation. Well, maybe that's something I should check out. All right. Arch Excel says, great choice, mate. Farscape would be my choice as well. BLT 184 said, still have fond memories of the politics in Babylon 5. Old Vanchard, or Vaker, says, Battlestar Galactica as it show the best large space battle ever seen on TV show. Then it would be The Expanse because it's the most realistic show featuring space battles. I'll tell you, when the Battle of Caprica is probably my favorite battle in Battlestar Galactica, or the Battle of New Caprica. I mean, it's fantastic. Although I'm gonna say this, and hopefully I don't offend anybody, but the waste of the Battlestar Pegasus was criminal. Criminal. All right, moving on. Uncle Buck, Battlestar Galactica, both old and new, and Firefly are my favorites. Codex of Wisdom, choosing a favorite sci-fi series is hard. Stargate is up there, but as a whole kind of got weak towards the end. The Clone Wars are certainly a top contender as well. I'll tell you, I think it's the last 5 episodes of the Clone Wars TV series after Disney bought them and put out the extra stuff with Ahsoka. Oh, it's so good. Gaddis Gaming said the Clone Wars era ships are probably some of my favorite designs, following Babylon 5. Alex Pearson says, favorite, that's tough. Andor was spectacular. Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 were great. I have a love for the original Battlestar. Anyone else love Buck Rogers? I used to be really into Doctor Who, but Capaldi and Whittaker eras turned me off, so I'll doubt if I return. All right, what do we got in chat? Wolf Sigma seconded Outlaw Star. Matthew Davis said Outlaw Star is very 90s ass anime. I loved it a lot. A love for Toonami for what they did for anime in North America. Absolutely. Without Toonami, I don't think I would have ever found the likes of like Cowboy Bebop. So I'm glad they were there. Rudy has called out, I believe LOGH's Legend of Galactic Heroes is the perfect anime sci-fi. Very epic in scale with magnificent ships. Right? That is it Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Rudy? All right, back to entries. We're almost done. We got just a couple left. Oh, no, there's more. Palmer Rip says, I'm back. Quite the giveaway this time, Brandon. It's hard to nail down just one sci-fi TV show, so I'll say The Expanse just to throw it out there. Groove Dude said, amazing fleet. Enter me as well in this giveaway. My favorite was Westworld. Maybe not perfect, but the concepts were mind-blowing. I watched, I think, the first episode of Westworld, and I liked it. I didn't have the energy at the time to get back into it. Iron Muffin Production said, if one could make a Battlestar Galactica movie, it would have been a conclusion to the 1980s series with a massive space battle over Earth. That would have been awesome. I don't know if Belisarius Productions had it in them to do that, though. So, I mean, they obviously had the standby to hold on until Ronald D. Moore could put it out. So, I swear. Sorry, I'm having some technical issues on something else. Where are we? Noah Doyle. So many good ones to choose from, but I'll have to go with one that really grabbed me as a young adult, Babylon 5. Well, look at that. The sun's coming up. Wolf Sigma with another entry. You only get one, Wolf Sigma. Oh, damn. Great choice with Farscape. Recently forced my entire family to rewatch it, and it gets better with each repeat. I think my favorite is Babylon 5. Star Trek had some of the best writing, and The Expanse had some of the best science and visuals, but Babylon 5 just got me super involved with each character and what they were going through. Man, I could watch Londo and Jakar scenes stuck in the broken elevator and not think, this is cinema! We're in here! We're in here! Okay, Rhodes World said, too many to pick, but just the one Firefly and Stargate just SG-1 alone, along with Battlestar, are definitely at the top. Monster Zack said, not sure if you know this, but The Expanse has been great so far. Yeah, I would say that most people have good opinions of The Expanse. Corin Knapp said, what a lovely giveaway. My favorite has to be Firefly. Too bad it finishes too soon. Well, I would say it doesn't finish at all. We get Serenity years later, but Firefly never finished, and I don't know what they would have done with it. But it's not finished, man. It's not finished. I'm not one of those people who would think that to bring back Firefly, that stuff is not going to happen. But we can always dream. Ranger Drakeson said, "You're making me pick a favorite? Okay, let's go with Babylon 5. I'll tell you, Babylon 5 has the, in my opinion, and this is going to cause a riot. I'm sorry, but Babylon 5 has the best starships out of any science fiction series. There, I said it. I'm going to say, fight me on that. Noah Doyle, again. Noah, you also don't get a second entry for a second comment. All that said, Farscape had, I think, the best romance by far. John and Aaron felt very real, and I would point to Aaron as a superb example of how to write a strong female character without relying too much on tropes. Man, think about when they're on the Zalbinian, and the what are the giant toads called? It's not the Shi'ar, it's the whatever, the giant toads. When she has got that gun at her waist, and she says, "On the ground now!" Man, that's such a good point in science fiction for me. All right, Xander baby. This is one epic giveaway. My favorite is Firefly. You're so close to 1,000 subs as well. Road to 1K. Hashtag. All right, let's get up on chat. Okay. Alex Pearson said, in my opinion, original Battlestar was better than the remake. Original Adama was the best. Iron Muffin Productions says, I agree with you, Alex. Alex, I cannot agree with that sentiment because Edward James Olmos is my daddy. Rudy says, I prefer the OG Cylons for sure. Marco Antonio Salazar Metamoros. Planets is an interesting sci-fi series. Extremely hard sci-fi. Characters are essentially working to prevent a gravity-style mess and are space janitors. Alex Pearson said, I'm a leaf on the wind. And he says, Rudy, yes, OG Cylons. Stephen Bennett here, deep cut here. Legend of Galactic Heroes. And I think Rudy mentioned that up above, right? Yep. Alex Pearson says Iron Muffin Heart. Guys, get a room. Marco Antonio Salazar Metamoros says planets. It's planets. Autocorrect. Stephen Bennett, nice to see Rudy say it. Alex Pearson said, wait, if we make multiple replies, we get multiple entries? No, you don't. What if Firefly continuing the next season would tackle the idea that Earth was not used up, but was purged for the Alliance elite to own? Man, it is. That's entirely. I always thought that maybe, because think about the system that they're in. They say that they're in a single system and it has all of those habitable places. It's an interesting concept to consider. Like, where are we now in the universe compared to where old Earth was? Where are we? Teddy Grant says Stargate SG-1 is my all-time favorite, courtesy of my dad. This looks awesome. Hoping I would win because it would be an awesome birthday present. Matthew Davis with another. Wait. Did Matthew Davis already enter? Man, Matthew Davis took a long time to show up on here. No, he showed up earlier. Firefly will always have a special place in my heart, but as a weeb, I gotta go Cowboy Bebop or maybe Outlaw Star. On the... I can't remember what subreddit it was, but someone had a swordfish where they had painted the swordfish. Maybe it was in Painted Minis. They had painted the swordfish, but in that wasn't what they were highlighting. They were highlighting that they had painted this background that made the swordfish look like it was speeding along like a meadow or something. It was beautiful. Micah is cool. I know this will be a weird answer, but purely because of the humor. I have to say Spaceballs as one of my tops in science fiction. It's got that old humor that you don't really get nowadays. With it being a spin-off of Star Wars, it makes it even better. Also, this pack is so good. Empire at War is my all-time favorite game. I still play to this day. I remember I was so excited when they announced they were putting the servers back up. I was always trying to find a lobby that isn't using mods. Forces of Corruption ship just looks sick. It's great seeing that they made Armada ships for it. They look on point. All right, Devilman 2197. Empire at War is still the only game that has the real-time galactic map. How good the game is. I quite enjoyed Stargate when I was younger, but Star Wars: The Clone Wars takes the favorite spot for me. All right, we're almost to the end, guys. Pale O Veil. I'm torn with what my favorite space show is. I have to come down on the side of SG1 or DS9 over DS9 and the Expanse. SG1's good. It's we're not fighting here over all this. All these are good answers. Lego Brains says Clone Wars TV show is still the best for me. High Rider. Irvin K said Babylon 5 is my favorite sci-fi series, but the original Battlestar Galactica and the Expanse are not far behind. AWOL Stormtrooper 8008 says it's got to be Star Wars, followed by Starship Troopers. Are you talking about the Starship Troopers cartoon? Because that was an awesome cartoon series. It followed the books. If you haven't seen it, they did a cartoon series that was in the style of the movies, the modern Starship Trooper movie, but it was way closer to the book than the movie was. It had the skinnies, it had the better mech suits that are in the Starship Troopers book. It was awesome. Jones Fox says, no, don't make me choose. Overall, with the every aspect considering, I guess I'll go with Lost in Space. Or you could plug and play Babylon 5, original Battlestar Galactica, Farscape, original Star Trek, Buck Rogers, Firefly, Space 1999, Space Rangers. And Alexander Wilkins says, sick. And Shadow Queen, so Battlestar Galactica and Babylon 5. Well, folks, those are the entries. Let's get to the winner. So we need to go in here and say filter duplicate users. And then we're going to have to resolve the sum and get random comments. So that took out a few. So here we go. We are grabbing the winner. So if you're watching this now live, or if you come to it later and you were the winner, please email us at info@pulsefired.com to claim your prize. We'll ask for your proof of subscription, which we technically can't do, but hopefully you're a subscriber for us, and your address, and we will ship it out to you. Reminder, we'll ship it out to anywhere that the United States Postal Service will deliver to. So let's pick this giveaway. All right, here we go. Devin Diaz 6001. Futurama is hands down my favorite sci-fi show. More serious setting, you can't go wrong with the Expanse. Hold on a second. Is that the top comment? No, it's not. Okay. So, Devin Diaz, please email us at info@pulsefired.com so that we can collect your information to ship this out. Everybody, thank you very much for watching. This is going to be the start of an excellent year. We have done pretty amazing this year so far. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting close to half of the watch time or watch hours that we need to get monetized, and hopefully you'll stick with us in the future. We have more giveaways coming. O'Neill Creations is eventually going to release their Lucre Hulk, and that'll be where we start giving away Clone Wars era ships and Clone Wars era mega packs. The Eclipse is still in pre-production, and eventually we'll have an Eclipse to show you guys and give away. Thank you very much for watching.